Kim Hellberg has some big decisions to make as he looks to reignite Middlesbrough's push for promotion. 3 matches without a victory has left supporters feeling a little bit nervous about our hopes of securing automatic promotion this season. A defeat to Coventry City was the start of it. That was followed by a 0-0 draw against Oxford United, and that was then followed by a 1-1 draw against Leicester City on Tuesday night. So with 3 matches without a victory, fans are starting to wonder what Middlesbrough need to do to get themselves back to winning ways, and with a difficult match coming up against Birmingham City on Monday evening, Hellberg does have to make a quick decision on how he gets his team firing once again. Now, here in this video, we're going to go through 3 possible solutions for what Hellberg could do in order to get Middlesbrough's season back on track at such a crucial time in the season. Here we go. The first option for Kim Hellberg is simply to do nothing going into the match against Birmingham City. Now, that may seem like a silly suggestion, but based on how well Middlesbrough had been playing before this last 3-match run, there was very little reason for Middlesbrough to feel worried at all. We were playing really good football. We were passing the ball well, creating plenty of chances, scoring plenty of goals as well. And yes, things haven't gone to plan recently with these last 3 games, but does that mean that Middlesbrough need to be panicking? I don't think so. I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think Middlesbrough have shown that they've got the potential. We've got the ability to go out there and show what we can do, that we've got the quality to outplay other teams, and potentially the match against Birmingham City could be the perfect time to do that. Now, of course, against Oxford and against Leicester, yes, 2 sides who were sitting near the bottom of the championship table, so in theory we were favourites for those 2 games, but playing at the Riverside Stadium, it was always going to be the case that those 2 sides would sit incredibly deep. They'd make life very difficult for Middlesbrough, and of course that would then mean that there'd be very little space for Middlesbrough to operate in and play our natural game. Now, a match against Birmingham City away at St Andrews, yes, it's more difficult. Birmingham are challenging for the playoff places. They're a really good team who have the potential to hurt Middlesbrough, but at the same time, this is not going to be the same game of football as what we've seen in the last 2 fixtures. Birmingham City will be under pressure from their supporters to go out and play their game. They'll be looking to go on the front foot. They'll be looking to try and win the game, and that could play perfectly into Middlesbrough's hands. Now, we've seen with Kim Hellberg's side that when we do go toe-to-toe with other teams, when it is a case of 2 sides wanting to go out there, play their natural game, play attacking football, more often than not, we do actually come out on top. So this could be the perfect fixture for Kim Hellberg's side to go into next. Now, what that would mean in terms of team selection, it would mean really that he doesn't have to change too much. I think a regular kind of conception among supporters is that this team that played against Leicester, that played against Coventry, and played in those fixtures before that, it may actually be Middlesbrough's best 11 with Riley McGree in the team, Morgan Whittaker, Tommy Conway, with Hayden Hackney in midfield. There's plenty of goal-scoring threat in there. So for Middlesbrough, maybe the best solution going into the match with Birmingham City is to change absolutely nothing and see what we can do. We've got the quality, we've got the track record of being able to find the back of the net. Yes, a couple of our players have gone a little bit cold on the goal front. I'm looking at Morgan Whittaker, maybe Tommy Conway to an extent as well. But if we can go to Birmingham City and play our natural game, then I'd certainly back us to get a positive result at St Andrews. The second option for Kim Hellberg would be to rotate those attacking players to give some new players an opportunity, and that could mean dropping Morgan Whittaker. Now, he's been excellent so far this season. He's been our main source of goals in the Championship. His goal-scoring run has come to a bit of an end in the last few weeks. It's been several weeks since he's found the back of the net, and I think when that happens with Morgan Whittaker, you do find that he doesn't offer a huge amount else to the team. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of Morgan Whittaker. I think he's someone who has the potential to play a really big role in Middlesbrough's journey to the Premier League, hopefully. Based on how things have been going so far and the fact that things seem to be going a little bit stale, that teams seem to be figuring us out a little bit in the final third, it could be that now is the ideal time to change things up. I think what we've seen in the last couple of weeks is that Riley McGree, when he's fit, has to be starting. He is quite simply Middlesbrough's best attacking player. He's been Middlesbrough's most dangerous player. For me, he was the only player against Leicester who got anywhere near his full potential in that fixture. And so for me, he has to be playing if he's fit. I understand the need to manage his minutes and to maybe, it might be the case that he starts the game but then doesn't play longer than 60, 70 minutes before being brought off because he does need to be managed. I completely understand that, but I don't think we can afford for him not to be in the starting 11, particularly when the other players are not playing to their full potential. Jeremy Sarmiento, he looked dangerous against Oxford. Perhaps not his best game. It was quite a difficult one for him against Oxford, who was sat deep. But again, against Birmingham City, it could be a completely different match. I think there'll be a lot more space. It'll be a lot more open. And he does have the pace and trickery to cause some real problems. Now, Jeremy Sarmiento could play on the right-hand side. allow Morgan Whittaker to maybe be rested for this one, to come off the pitch. So we'd have Riley McGree on the left, we'd have Jeremy Sarmiento on the right. That could offer something very, very different for Middlesbrough's attack. It might give Birmingham City something to really think about, with a slight switch up in personnel, and that could be exactly what is needed to unlock this Birmingham City defence. I mean, we do have a number of quality players in attack. I mean, yes, we haven't seen the full potential of Leo Castledine. Of course, he's been nursing an injury, so it remains to be seen when he'll be back in full fitness and when he'll be back to contention. I think he'll have a big role to play in the other run-in as well. But I think for now, potentially, we just need to shuffle that pack a little bit, give Morgan Whittaker the chance to rest and maybe just take him out the firing line a little bit. And yeah, if we can play Jeremy Sarmiento and Riley McGree, that could be a really exciting and quite dangerous attacking unit against Birmingham City if we combine it with Tommy Conway. Now, the next idea that Kim Hellberg could consider against Birmingham City is quite simply to come up with a more effective plan B. Now, I love Kim Hellberg. I love that style of play. I love the way that we've been going about things under his leadership. I love the Hellball style of play, the passing, the dynamic movement, the forward runs, the amount of goals, the amount of creativity. It's all been absolutely great. I've absolutely loved it. And for me, he is still perfect in terms of what he's looking to bring to Middlesbrough. It's really exciting. But what we have seen in the last couple of weeks is a team who maybe are being figured out by opponents a little bit. I think maybe teams are understanding just how dangerous Kim Hellberg's side are, the way that they play, the makeup of the starting 11, as we've just mentioned as well. And so maybe teams are starting to cotton on to how to nullify that threat from Middlesbrough. Now, from my point of view, when you get to this stage of the championship season, we're nearly in March now, we're in the back end of the season, it really is all to play for. What you tend to find from teams who are challenging for promotion are that teams who are successful at this stage, teams who do ultimately go on to secure promotion, they're not playing swashbuckling football. They're not going out there and running away with games. Often they're really cagey, tight affairs, and it's just about going out there and finding ways to win matches that you might not have done previously. It's just about getting results at this stage. It's not about style of play. It's not about anything like that. So for me, for Kim Hellberg, perhaps he needs to consider a slight tweak in his style of play, particularly late on in matches, in order to try and get those results. Now, I know there's been a lot of criticism, I guess, for some of Middlesbrough's other attacking players. I think David Strelec in the last couple of games, he hasn't done a huge amount to really justify being in the starting 11. Hasn't really looked that dangerous. Cali Sen, yeah, he came off the bench against Oxford, but didn't really do a lot. Didn't even get off the bench against Leicester City. And for me, that seems like a little bit of a waste. I'm not saying that someone like Cali Sen is going to be our saviour and he's the man to lead us to promotion, but I think when you've got these attacking players, it seems really wasteful not to use them or to try and get the best out of them. Against Leicester, we only used 3 of 5 substitutes when we were chasing the game. We had Cruz Ebe and we had Cali Sen on the bench. Of course, Sanjay Hansen as well, with whatever's happened to him, I don't know. But we've got these 3 attacking players on the bench, all of whom didn't get onto the pitch against Leicester, and that seems a little bit wasteful for me. What I'd be looking to do is, as we get into the final stages of a game, when it's maybe 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, and we are chasing a goal, maybe it's the case that Middlesbrough need to change things up and go a little bit more direct. For example, maybe Middlesbrough need to look at going to wing backs. It might be that Matt Targett on the left and Callum Britton are given a little bit more license to go forward. Finn Monroe, he's a flying wing back. He did wonderful with Swindon, so he could be a really attacking player from there as well. And maybe the onus in those last 10-15 minutes could be just getting the ball into the box. I think in Cali Sen and David Strelec, you've got 2 more poacher-type strikers. Cali Sen's a big physical player, someone who could win his fair share of aerial battles when the ball's coming into the box. David Strelec, we've seen what he's capable of in terms of his goal-scoring instincts, his poacher nature. They offer something very different to what Tommy Conway does and to what the movement around midfield does. And I think, I'm not saying that what we're doing at the moment isn't right or that what we're doing at the moment shouldn't be done anymore, because I do think that it's the right way to go. And I think in a lot of games it will see us to victory. But I do think that in these last couple of matches against Leicester and against Oxford, maybe we just need to look at having a bit of a plan B, a little bit of something else up our sleeve that can really catch a team off guard. I think what we're seeing against Leicester and against Oxford is that these 2 teams, by the time it's got to that stage of the game, they're pretty much settled in. They know what they're doing. They know what Middlesbrough are going to be trying to do, and so they know exactly how to close up those those gaps and stop us from playing. But if we can have something a little bit different up our sleeves, something a little bit more direct, offer a little bit more of a physical presence, that could be exactly what it needs for Middlesbrough to go out there and win these matches. It might not be pretty, it might not be glamorous. I'm certainly not saying that Kali Sen is the man who's going to mastermind our promotion push, but potentially just tapping into these players and what their skill sets are, that could be the difference between us going up and not. I understand that there might not be Kim Hellberg's ideal type of players. They were signed under the previous regime, under Rob Edwards, and were very much signed for him. That was what the strategy was, and it's quite clear that people like Kali Sen and Sanjay Hansen, they're not going to have a long-term future under Kim Hellberg. They just don't seem like his type of players. But for the time being, when it's all about results, it's all about getting over the line, maybe we just need to find a way to integrate them into the squad, find a way to get the best out of them, and hopefully, maybe they might just be able to offer something a little bit different to our other players in order to get us over the line and maybe turn some of these draws into victories. So that's a couple of ideas that I've got about how Kim Hellberg could potentially boost Middlesbrough's form going into the next couple of games, but I want to hear from you. What do you think that Kim Hellberg should do in order to turn some of these draws into victories? Drop into the comments below, let me know your thoughts, and if you have enjoyed this, please do hit like, please do hit subscribe, and I will catch up with you next time.